Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 66 of my modded Factorio playthrough. Enjoy. This is a little interesting because we're going to be replacing something that we're using actively. So we want to make sure that our new setup is ready to go, rather than disassembling this and building it in place, because if we take too long, we're going to run out of coal, or at least of carbon, and then the factory's going to go dark, and that's bad. Oops. There we go. Let's start building some stuff here. We actually have two separate processes we're going to be doing with coal processing too. One is the creation of coke pellets, which are more energy efficient than coke, and more energy efficient than carbon, I believe. And by association, that means we're going to be using much less carbon dioxide than we were previously. So our stone to carbon dioxide factory set up in the northeast of the factory, up here, oh, no radar, it's not necessarily going to be outdated, but it's not going to be used much anymore. And the other thing we need to do is clean coke. And the other thing we need to create is actually just carbon, because we need carbon to make circuits. And both of those processes have an intermediary step of coke, and we can make the coke using this process and get our sulfuric wastewater as a byproduct. So let's figure out the ratio first, and then we can figure out how much of this stuff we want to produce. See, we're going to need liquefiers and a crusher. Any other machines? Doesn't look like it. Oh, I had some steel furnaces in there. Oops. Okay. So the coal starts as regular coal and it gets crushed. This machine works at a speed of 2, so we're going to have 4 crushed coals per second. And in order to wash it, we need 2 coal every 4 seconds, but it works at a speed of 2.25. So that means each one of these machines works at 1.125 speed. So we need 3 point something. But if we just do 4, like, problem is the more higher level these machines get, the more complicated the process is, the less easy it's going to be to have a perfectly perfect ratio. Let's just do it based on the 1 ore crusher ratio. Call it a day. So we're going to have slightly too many liquefiers. But that's okay. The limiting factor is the ore crusher, so we'll keep that in mind with future processes here. So this is going to be putting out the same 4 coke per second. Or the first thing we need to make is carbon down here. So let's figure out what the ratio is for carbon. Might need to research some crafting speed upgrades, because this is taking kind of a long time. Can we do that now? Yeah, it looks like it. Not too bad. Maybe a couple of increases, although it's some mighty research, but we could probably afford it, so let's just do it. Okay. So the ratio here is 2 coke every 2 seconds times 2.25, which is 2.25 per second, so 2 carbon liquefiers will be fine. So now the question is, how much carbon does our factory need? Well, we're not going to be using carbon for fuel anymore. It's only going to be used for circuit production. So we need a lot less of it. And since it's on its own belt, and it's on a yellow belt, at most we can have 13.3, and that might be a decent goal. So how much does this produce? Well, it's 3 carbon. Well, it's taking 2 coke and turning into 3 carbon, which is a 50% increase. So this is producing 6 carbon per second. So how about if we double this, we'll be producing 12 carbon a second. And that's about the maximum that our belt can handle. So that seems pretty good. So if we double it, we've got 2 of those, 2 more here. And then we need to make 4 more liquefiers. So we can get to it. Let's see. Yeah, I was looking, those have 1 inserter, but I'm pretty sure we need 2 because this is working at a speed of 2 per second, so we're going to need 2 inserters. on each side. And then we're going to be feeding these into 8 liquefiers. Now, how it's going to be done is going to be a little weird because we're going to have steel pipes on each side. See, we're going to be having steel pipes going along the top. And potentially here too, really. So we're not going to have any room for inserters here. So we're going to need to put an inserter right here and have it be a long inserter. So how much per second are we going to need for each one of these machines? It's 2 every 4 seconds times 2.25. So that's, in theory, a red inserter would be fine. But we can make this setup more compact if we use length changing inserters. So if we go here and we say pick up 1 space away and drop 2 spaces away, I say not to do this because it slows down inserter speed, but if we use a faster inserter, it should make up for it, because otherwise we'd have to have an empty space right here. So this inserter could be long on both sides, and it would just be an artificially larger setup. That seems pretty good. So we need to have 8 total liquefiers here. So potentially, like all the way along the side here. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. That's 8. So this is the coal cleaning. Then we'll just have the belts going each direction. See, some of these need to be nears. So let's make that one a near and that one a near. And then steel pipes going along the full length of this. And then we need this special inserter. So let's copy the setup right like there. Okay, and we kind of want to do the same thing to the bottom as well. So we'll copy that setup and put it on the bottom. Oops, I'll have to rotate all of these. Looks like a slightly different setup here, so I guess I'll use the position setup after all. So right there, and then near side. This one is regular, regular. That would be regular, and then regular, and then near, 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 near. And rotate him again. Okay. There's that so far. Now we need to turn it into the carbon. Trying to think of the cleanest way to do this. Yeah, they're not going to be quite perfectly aligned. Although we could make it perfectly aligned if we wanted to. And I want to. So if we take all of this, get rid of it, and move it 1 space over for alignment, then we can have a belt in the middle. Now, unfortunately, I think we need to move this whole setup up so you have more space to work with, because those pipes are in the way. Oops, is there a spare machine in here somewhere? Yes. Although I wasn't really thinking about where these belts would go. But they can go like this, I think. Looks like that's barely but 1 blue. And we need to take considerations for the carbon. Now, instead of using our stone-based carbon, I'm actually going to switch over to just using coal. It'll allow us to get rid of this pipe. But the reason is that stone is more valuable than it used to be. In the beginning, we were limited based on how much coal we had, and now that we have a vehicle, we can get coal anywhere. So coal is actually less valuable in a way than crushed stone is. So I'd actually like to preserve the crushed stone if possible, because we can make plastic out of it. So let's see. Let's put a fast inserter right there and right there. And that's pretty good. Now, kind of the last step here is making the necessary carbon dioxide from coal. So how much carbon dioxide are we going to need? Well, we have slightly too many carbon machines. I believe, but let's just assume they all run at full power. That's 35 every 2 seconds times 2.25. Then we have 4 machines, so we need 157 carbon dioxide a second. And one of these machines creates 50 every 2 seconds times 2.25. So that's 3 liquefiers making carbon dioxide. What's the easiest way to do it? Guess we can put them up here. Alright, crafting speed is done. Should we do one more? Okay, let's do one more and then call it a day for the crafting speed upgrades. Okay, so make us our carbon dioxide. Oops, but that's one space too high. There we go. So we'll make the carbon dioxide here. It will flow down here, and then we can kind of pipe it in there. But we need to get it to that other side as well. Actually, it might be easier to take it in from... No, but we have more inserters we need on that side, I believe. There might be a better way. I'm always in search of the better way. You know, I just move these machines around, but there's always a better way to do things. Something like this. It definitely looks like that gap is no longer necessary, so come, my loyal robots. Move this over 1 square for me. So the output is going to be 3 carbon every 2 seconds times 2.25, and that is about 1.5 blue inserters. So regular, regular, then near, near. And since this belt is going to be getting pretty full near the end, put an underground there. That seems pretty good. The input for this is 1 coal every 2 seconds times 2.25. So about a red. Now, before we drop this in place, we need to take care of the water, because we need purified water to come in and sulfuric wastewater to come out. We need to take care of both of those. So we're just going to leave this set up here for now. And we don't have power lines in here either. That might be nice to take care of. Let's see. Oh, that's easy enough with this spacing. It's like we just have to put them every 2. Alright, that's taken care of. Before we calculate how much water we're going to need, we need to figure out where we're going to do it. This whole area here is pretty clear, specifically up here. We've got a big, nice area right here to put a lot of chemical processing in. Well, that tank's really low. We need to get some more crazier. So I was thinking of placing it like right up here and then running the pipes, kind of the pipe highway right there. But we need crazier, so we should pick that up first. It just ran out. Now we have green lights again. And before we even start the chemical processing, we kind of need to move this. It's technically fine where it is, but it's chemical processing, and it would make more sense for this to go up here along with everything else. So that's what I would like to move. So we need some robots to help out in clearing the trees. And this water is kind of in the way. Landfill's fairly valuable, but... So you don't want to just use it willy-nilly, but right there, it's a pretty good place to use it. Now, we can't use this entire setup, but we can copy a bit of it just to make placing it easier. I don't know, let's just take all of that and then see how it fits later. So we need to pick it all up. There's some resources stuck in the pipes and whatnot, but I'm not really concerned. Let's see. I don't want to pick up something I don't want to. So let's do maybe all of that, and we can clean it up later. Because some of these pipes are going to end up getting moved around. Well, we can get rid of these if we're willing to kind of move this around a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's move our new electrolyzer setup. Well, same setup, just a different spot. Can kind of put it, oh, something like right here. Sure. Let's move it down. 1, 2, 3 spaces. Yeah, seems good. Okay. Okay, so we've got our water. And well, let's just hook it up to this pump here, since we've been doing that so far. It might make more sense for the slag to go down the back end rather than the front. It's a regular, near. This might be able to be made more straight. Out of belts. Well, I'll go for a walk and get more. Guess we're short on circuits too. And blue inserters. And might as well load up on the red belts. Oh wow, and we don't have any undergrounds either. There we go. And might as well max this out too. How's power with all that stuff going? Very close to maximum. I guess I'll leave it for now, since technically we have enough for all of this. So slag comes down. And right in here, through this other slot. Back to where it was. Might be able to make it look straighter. If we come in through here. What about like this? This isn't particularly straight in this section, but I think the end result is going to be a straight belt. Oops. I believe we could use some lights in here. So we have 2 outputs. Hydrogen and oxygen. Let's see, where are the tanks? I guess they're in fluid control. There we go. Let's do the petrochem gas tanks. Let's see, how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, I guess. So this will be the tank for the oxygen. And let's put a tank up here. How many spaces do we do? 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now before we hook up the oxygen, we need to get our existing oxygen in here. You can see we already have kind of an oxygen line moving up, but let's make a temporary oxygen line. Just for the purposes of moving the oxygen. So let's pump that tank dry because we spent electricity making it. So now that is increasing quickly. And just wait it out. Okay. Now let's realign these pipes. But I don't want random pipes just going up in the middle of nowhere. Let's move them up here. So let's have this be the oxygen line. Right, we've got some extra pipes that are just making a mess. There we go. And let's hook up the final tank. There we go. Now they're going to tirelessly fill that up. Although, the hydrogen tank's probably going to fill first. I previously mentioned using a tank level indicator. So let's do that now. Let's do one for each tank. Now we need to adjust these. Let's see. Well, the tank holds 125,000. So I want the 75% level to be this. So oxygen. Let's make all those the same. So if oxygen is greater than 93,750, that's 75%, light up the last light. And then 50% is 62,500. And then if it's less than 62,500, that one goes on, and it's going to be a yellow warning light. And then let's say, for 25%, it's 31,250. Do a red light. There we go. If it's really low, we're going to have a red light and a yellow light. If it's kind of low, it's going to be a yellow light. If it's above 50%, we're going to have one green. And if it's above 75, we're going to have two greens. Now the numbers are the same for this top one. Let's see, hydrogen. But the way the lights are going to be colored is going to be different because we want this tank to stay empty. So ideally this tank has two greens, which means it's really low level. And it's going to have one green if it's kind of low. And it's going to have a yellow if it's kind of high, and a yellow and a red if it's really high. Just so we can manage that and look at it at a glance. That's all the time we have for today, so I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.